Yo, what's up, guys? This is Why Not Be Reckless, aka Why Not Be Casting. I'm one of the HCS commentators, and we have another HCS Weekly Report where today we're going to be talking all about the Honda Fan Cup. We just had the final qualifier yesterday, so now the finale has been determined. So we're going to break down the bracket and then go over every one of the 8 players that are competing for the rest of the $20,000 tournament. In case you guys are unfamiliar, there was 4 weeks of qualifiers. $1,000 per qualifier was given, in the top 2 make it to the finale. The number 1 player make it to the number 1 seed, 2 make it to the 2nd seed, and go on so forth and so on, going into all 4 qualifiers until we had 8 players that qualified. And then you have $16,000 for the finale, 4K plus 16K, $20,000 over the course of 5 weeks. And there's been some absolute craziness. We've seen cheating accusations. We've seen some pros, making it through. Some pros getting upset. And you know what? We also seen a mystery Smurf really come out and surprise a lot of people literally just yesterday. So let's go in. Let's talk about it. So, winners bracket. We're going to start over here with the winners bracket semifinals. It was Sab that beat out MLG Foxy, or X4F, backwards for Fox. But mind you, Fox was the one who 1-0'd roping in. Remember, up until the semifinals, it was a best of 1. Then going into the semifinals, that's when ultimately you would see the best of 3s that would start. Renegade able to 2-0 Gunplexion, one of the favorites to come into this 1v1 tournament. He's an incredibly aggressive player, really good in the ones game. Gunplexion ends up in the lower bracket over toward the semifinals. We're going to follow his journey a little bit later. Then in the winners finals, Renegade pulling off the 2-0 versus Sab, and apparently he had places to be, because Renegade then announced that he wasn't going to participate in the grand finals. He said whoever comes out of the elimination bracket can take the number 1 seed going into the finale. He had some scrims to do. How confident do you have to be? Dude, how confident do you have to be to say, I'm going to a $16,000 finale, and I don't even care if I have the number 1 or the number 2 seed. That's fine. So pretty crazy there. Before we get to the grand finals, I guess which didn't exist, we're gonna go into the lower bracket to find out who was that player that was supposed to be joining him. Roping in the mystery Smurf was knocked into the elimination bracket by MLG Foxy, and then from there went on a miraculous run, starting with Bueller with the 1-0, leading into the quarterfinals, which starts the best of 3 series. Spar pulling off the 1-0 versus Pac Mandela. Pac Mandela, a phenomenal free-for-all player, and I would imagine that skill set translates over into 1v1 gameplay as well. And then you have Spar, who a former SWAT guy, a former doubles guy over at H5, and just has been working his butt off and grinding, and now he's a legitimate 4v4 competitor. Good for him. Roping in whoever this mystery 4th guy was able to mystery Smurf was able to 2-1 Gunplexion. Again, one of the favorites. Can't say I was surprised when Renegade beat him out, but when Roping in came out with the win, that's when I realized, like, oh snap, this Smurf is dangerous. Like, for real. Like, when the moment he beat out Gunplexion, I said, okay, he might be the real deal. Spar was able to 2-0 MLG Foxy, the only player that beat Roping in the winners bracket. So you would think that at that point, Spar should have the advantage over Roping in. I mean, Roping in was 1-0'd by MLG Foxy. Spar 2-0'd MLG Foxy. So if A squared plus B squared equals C squared by the transitive property, Spar should win this, but no, Roping in comes out with another 2-1. I don't know who this guy is. Don't know what his plan was. But if it was to steal people's hearts, that's what he did, because he makes it to the elimination finals. And now we're talking about a Smurf 1 win away from making it to the grand finals, 1 win away from making it to the finale. All he has to do is go through Sab, and the mystery man makes it through, which is crazy. But Sab was just too much. Mind you, despite the fact that Sab 2-0'd Roping in both games, Roping in started off both those games with a 3-0 lead. And if you guys know how 1v1 gameplay works, If you get yourself an early lead, you can ride with it. But after the 3-0 start, Sab just takes one kill, gets that confidence, and just ran away with it, man. It's crazy to me that when Sab gets a bit of momentum on his side, bro, he just starts hitting every sniper shot. He just starts flying at you, grappling. Like once he got an early lead or stole the lead back from roping in, he turned into a different beast. He was no longer this like fundamental player in the 1v1s. He just turned into an absolute predator and was hunting, roping in down. And eventually Sab pulls off the 2-0. Again, there wasn't a grand finals. Renegade forfeiting the number 1 spot to Sab. So Sab coming out as the number 1 seed in this tournament. And I do want to ask a question for you guys. Honestly. Because if we do another Honda Fan Cup, I personally feel like we shouldn't allow Smurfs. That's my opinion. I think when you allow Smurfs in a 1v1 tournament, especially ones where like certain players aren't allowed to play in, you know, the previous players that qualified aren't allowed to play in because you have to leave a spot for new players to qualify. Or just banned players coming in. Like I feel like when you open the door for Smurfs to come in, you open that door for anybody to be on that count. Like I said, banned player, a player not qualified to play. We saw that similar to Two Nice competing in one of the qualifiers, and there's an Aperture was accused of playing under his account, and there was a whole investigation about it and everything. And now both players are banned from the entire Honda Fan Cup. So, in my opinion, I feel like we shouldn't allow Smurfs because it opens the door for more foul play to come in. I think it's exciting. I think it's exciting to have a mystery player in and whatnot. Like one of the reasons why I loved Bounce so much about Halo 5 is because nobody knew what he looked like. That whole mystery was just really cool, really appealing. But again, I think Smurfs opened the door for foul play. And you know, and in a tournament that doesn't allow qualified players to play and has banned players, and on top of that is limited to just North America. You know, Shady couldn't prove that he flew out to Canada to compete, so he was disqualified from the first finale as well. When there's so much on the line and there's limitations on who can play, I don't believe Smurf should be allowed. But I'm kind of rambling now. I apologize. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Should we allow Smurfs in future tournaments? Is this something that should be addressed? Either way, Renegade and Sab joined the Elite, Boo Boo Doo, Bound, Invicted, and Stellar. And then during one of the qualifier number 3s, we had Titan and Synox. So this wasn't streamed because it was going at the same time as the Open Series. But Titan and Synox taking advantage, saying, hey, all the pros are playing in the Open Series. Now is our chance to make it through. So that's going to be your 8 players going into that $16,000 finale on March 4th. I don't know if we'll be casting the mainstream or casting the B stream with LVT. We'll see exactly what happens from there. Either way, I can't wait to do it, and hopefully see you guys there. All right, peace out. Love you. Smooches. Mwah.